So recently, tensions have again flared up. They have escalated between the two countries of India and Canada, owing to the allegations and suspicions of India's involvement in the killing of Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was based out of Canada, and subsequently visa services have been affected. Six of Canada's diplomats have been expelled from India, and our High Commissioner to Canada has also been recalled. Now, more than branding some organization or branding some person as terrorist, it is important to know the history and geography behind it, which is what I focus always on. So, we are going to understand what has led to this flaring up of tensions time and again. Why is Khalistan these days on the word of every person, on the tongue of every journalist? So, we are going to delve into that. So first of all, we have discussed the news. So basically, you know that Mr. Justin Trudeau is the current Prime Minister of Canada, and he has been accused of pandering to religious sentiments, religious sentiments, particularly in this case that of Sikhs, which is a minority community there in our country. Also, it is a minority community. But more important, whether he believes in the Sikh religion or not, their sentiments or not, he is been accused and he has been deliberately using their influence, increasing influence to capture vote bank. We'll discuss some history about that also, how the Sikhs have influenced the politics over there. But this using religion, even in our country, when religion is used as a base to subvert the government, then it never bodes well in the long. So, starting off things, we have to discuss first the geography of the region which we are going to discuss, because it will help us in understanding what the demand for Khalistan actually is, why it arose in the first place. Because it's not that the minorities, even if they're a Sikh community, that they are happy, they're not happy, they must have some genuine grievances which are affecting their relations with the Indian government. So that is why they have this developed this demand and they are pursuing with it, and it is disturbing relations not only in India but also with countries abroad. Okay, so states, I hope you are able to recognize: Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand, then UP, then we have Rajasthan, then we have MP here, and this is Delhi. This place here on the border of Punjab and Haryana is Chandigarh, again a UT, and some important places which will help us understand what exactly is Khalistan, what is the demand, what does the demand say. So it is a demand for a separate Sikh sovereign state, an autonomous nation, secession. It wants to secede. The Khalistanis, they want this region of dominant Punjabi Sikhs to secede and form their own nation. And different people have different assumptions concerning the area which encompasses this particular envisaged Khalistan. So normally it is considered to be the Indian part of Pakistan, Indian part of India, but a lot of people are also of the opinion that full Khalistan and complete Khalistan would include not only the Indian part of Punjab, but also the Pakistani Punjab province, this Haryana part, Himachal Pradesh part, some parts, as long as far-fetched as in Rajasthan also. So that was I'm talking about, because there is an organization known as Six for Justice. So they came up with an extensive map in which extensive area right into Rajasthan they extend. Okay, then some places I'm going to mark which will be of importance in our discussions. Okay, I'll just label them. I'm just not marking them just for the sake of it. So I'm going to make a legend so that it becomes simpler for you to remember. Fine. So the first place is Nankana Sahib, considered to be the birthplace of Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism. Then second is Kartarpur Sahib. It was recently in the news again, if you remember, some time back, a corridor, Kartarpur corridor, was established between the Dera Baba Nanak Gurdwara here in Gurdaspur in the Indian state of Punjab and Kartarpur Sahib in the Pakistan province of Pakistan, to allow to allow the pilgrims from India to go to Kartarpur Sahib. Kartarpur Sahib is believed to be the resting place where Guru Nanak spent his final moments. Then, third, we have Lahore. Fine. Fourth, this one, we have Dera Baba Nanak, which is connected to Kartarpur in Pakistan through a corridor. And this was the agreement to allow the visa free travel was recently renewed between India and Pakistan. Fine. Then fifth is Pathankot, because these are important border areas, some terrorist attacks, something or the other keeps on taking place. Then sixth is Amritsar. Seven is Jalandhar. Eight is Anandpur Sahib. Anandpur Sahib will discuss while discussing the history of behind Khalistan and the demand for Khalistan. Anandpur Sahib is also a very important pilgrimage site from the point of view of Sikhism. It is considered to be the birthplace of the Khalsa by Guru Gobind Singh. It is also related with Guru Tegh Bahadur. Then ninth, ninth is Patiala, and this I have already marked Chandigarh, the UT. Then some important rivers which will also, because in Kashmir we discussed some rivers, so here it is very important. So first of all, So can you name the rivers? So this is Indus, Jhelum, we have discussed in the Kashmir lecture. This is Ravi, this is Bias, and this is Satluj. And Satluj, so Anandpur Sahib locations are important. Sometimes, when you are even traveling, not giving competitive examinations, so when you go through these places, it becomes interesting that you know. And similarly, this Anandpur Sahib, it is located in the Ropar district of Punjab. And then here also we have a very important dam located nearby, which is the Bhakra Nangal. Bhakra Nangal, the Bhakra part is located in Himachal Pradesh. Nangal part is located in Punjab. And the reservoir, which is formed as a result of the formation of dam, it is also known as the Gobind Sagar Reservoir. Fine. So you can see Anandpur Sahib. Here you can see Lahore on the banks of River Ravi. So we usually remember it like this. Fine. This is Jalandhar. So Bias. So why it is known as Punjab? Because Punjab is made up of two words. If you remember Sandhi Vichhed, so it is made up of Panch plus Ab. So it means Panch, 5 plus Ab refers to water, or in this case, rivers. So Punjab, because what I mean to say is Punjab, early now in India's Punjab, it is only restricted to this. But if we consider the Pakistan province of Punjab, it extends all the way. It is a huge province. It extends all the way here. So this entire province plus this is Punjab province of Pakistan, this is Punjab state of India, and Punjab underwent various phases of transformation. It was not so earlier. Punjab included these areas, included Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, the present day Punjab in India, and the present. So if we include all this, this is the rough structure of what the demand for the Khalistan is supposed to be, including all these areas. So I hope now you get the gist. Now a little bit about the reorganization, how this came about to be. So because this geography, I think you have understood. So prior to, I'll just erase this here. So let's go back before independence. So till 1818, after the Maratha wars were over, the British had won almost entire of India. The only lone independent state standing was Punjab. In 1845, the first Anglo-Sikh war took place. In 1849, the second Anglo-Sikh war took place, after which the British India, whole the Sikh region of Punjab came under the annexation of the British, and British India as a whole came into existence. So what happened was, if we go back, so at partition in 1947, the Punjab province was separated into two provinces: East Punjab, which came to be known as our Punjab, which was our Punjab, and West Punjab, which is current Punjab province of Pakistan. Now, the important thing is, at the time of independence, like I told you, Punjab was a mixture of this, this, and this. There was no separate state of Haryana. There was no Himachal Pradesh. There was no Chandigarh. Fine. And this was separated. So the Punjab only consisted of this. Just for information, there were another princely states, Pepsu. Will not go into detail, otherwise, it will become very inconvenient and cumbersome. So initially, this whole region, this, if I mark, this entire region comprising of present day Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, and Himachal Pradesh, they consisted of Punjab, which was made a state after independence, and Pepsu, Patiala and East Punjab States Union, which was a combination, which was a state made of the combination of eight erstwhile princely states. So there were some districts like Chail, Kandaghat, Shimla, which were part of this Pepsu. Overall, Pepsu plus the Punjab state, this whole was referred to as Punjab. So at the time of independence, we had Pepsu and Punjab separate. In 1956, in 1956, when the reorganization of states on linguistic basis took place, when the major boundaries and shape of the states came into being. So at that time, the erstwhile Punjab and some regions of Pepsu, they were combined to give Punjab its structure. Okay. Then what happened from since independence itself, there was a demand for a separate state of for Punjabi speaking people. Okay, so this was known as the Punjab Suba movement. So separate region, because you see, if you see the major states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Dravidian states, they are linguistically organized. The more recent states, if we go to in 2000, three major states were carved out of existing states. Uttarakhand, it was earlier Uttaranchal, carved out of UP. Chhattisgarh was carved out of MP, and Jharkhand was carved out of Bihar. So they were carved for administrative purposes, not on the basis of linguistic diversity. So earlier, in the time of Suba movement, there was a demand. So initially till 1956, this was the structure. The Suba movement gained more traction, the demands became stronger, and finally, in 1966, further reorganization took place and separate states and territories, Haryana, Punjab was carved. This whole portion was one Punjab, and in 1966, again reorganization took place. Punjab was made separate state. Haryana came to be. Chandigarh came to be a union territory, and Himachal Pradesh came to be. And just interesting point, initially when Himachal Pradesh was created, it was a union territory. It was not directly given statehood. Statehood to Himachal Pradesh was granted in 1971. So I hope you're following the chronology. So initially we had this entire Punjab before partition. Punjab also had some princely states. After partition, this West Punjab became the Punjab province of present day Pakistan. This entire Punjab plus some Pepsu states, which had some districts of Haryana also, like Hisar, Shimla, Kandaghat, Chail. So these Pepsu states and Punjab were united in 1956 to form the Punjab state. And then in 1966, further reorganization took place. So this became the primarily Punjabi speaking Punjab, Hindi speaking Haryana, and hilly states of hilly area of Himachal Pradesh. Chandigarh was treated as union territory because there was clamor from both sides, Haryana and Punjab, to for Chandigarh to be made part of their territory, but it was they were consoled by making it a UN territory. Okay, so this is how it came into picture. Now, again, some important points. So we were talking about the Suba movement. So again, After independence, like we have seen in the map, why now the importance of map, why I have drawn. Now you see, lot of religious places are there which were accessible to the pilgrims earlier. Nankana Sahib was, Lahore was accessible, Kartarpur Sahib was accessible. Now they have gone to Pakistan after after the partition in 1947. Now there was a severe sense of loss because culture, tradition, pilgrimage. If you now, it is not easy to travel to Pakistan. Na? Lot of bloodshed. The Punjabi people, the Sikh people, the Hindus which were stuck on Pakistan side, they had to run helter skelter. They had to come to India. The Muslims which were in the Punjabi speaking Muslims which resided on the Indian side, they had to run for safe havens to Pakistan. So, lot of bloodshed, you all know about it. So, this was one of the reason which continuously fueled the demand for a separate state of Punjab. So, now also this is one of the main reason, and other is that being a minority, a lot of them. Now, the Khalistan movement, important point to know is that the Khalistan movement is not very active in India. In India, there are no supporters. Here and there, you will find, okay, some brainwashed individuals are there. But even in abroad, only in groups of population, some groups of population existing in Canada, UK, and Australia. These are the nations where a significant proportion of Khalistan separatists or those propounding the support for the separation of separate state of Khalistan to be separated from India. They are supporting that cause, but that is also very minuscule population. This is just fundamentalist propaganda. Otherwise, if we see, there are a lot of other minorities also. They all have their grievances, and the government is doing its best, whether it be terms of growth, employment. So let's not go into that. So here, this is basic reason for the demand of Khalistan. Now, some political parties, one re- important regional political party in Punjab is the Akali Dal. It is very important here also from the point of view. So in 1973, there was this Anandpur Sahib resolution, right? So obviously, political parties in a country like India, they have always taken advantage of the religious differences. So here also they took advantage of the Punjabi Suba movement, and they also demanded greater autonomy for the state of Punjab. Punjab has already been formed in 1966. So they want different constitution, but they did not want to secede or form a separate nation. Khalistan demand is separate. But again, this also fueled that separatist sentiments. And so all this led to finally, this person is Hardeep Singh Nijjar, an illustration for which India has been accused of setting foot on foreign soil and interfering in their political external affairs. So this Operation Blue Star, which was a tumultuous period, it was cataclysmic event. You all know. So 1984, this person, a Khalistani terrorist, Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. So he spread, he conducted terrorism, he killed a lot of people, and he took refuge in the holy place, holy Gurdwara of Harmandir Sahib. Harmandir Sahib, or Golden Temple, situated in Amritsar. Fine. So it was a holy place, and the important thing was he was heavily armed ammunition. So in order to flush him out, India took, the Indian government under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, India took very proactive and radical measures. So a lot of military tanks were used. So in a way, this the Akal Takht and various structures, a lot of devotees, civilians, along with the terrorists, were killed, and the overall structure of the Harmandir Sahib was also damaged badly. And obviously, if you This is not a healthy. This did not invite any kind of healthy response from the population. Especially Sikhs were very disturbed. They were very annoyed. And this Operation Blue Star was followed by the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And following that, we had the anti-Sikh riots of 1984. So we just brief, if just for revision. So I am trying to just show you the chronology right from before the independence. Why this Khalistan has become this term has become so important. Okay, now we come to the this guy Justin Trudeau, who has been accused or not being accused. He is proactively pandering to the Khalistani separatist sentiments. Obviously, it is not good for any kind of diplomatic relations. You are giving safe haven, you are giving asylum, refuge to such fundamentalists, such terrorists who are plotting to upset or subvert the sovereignty, to challenge, impugn the sovereignty of India. So that is not good. So currently what the status is now, Justin Trudeau, what is happening? He's already his popularity is going down. Okay. So the structure of the government in Canada also resembles much with has some similarities with India as well as UK. So it also has a House of Commons. So he is the prime minister, but recently what happened is, so he is the leader of the Liberal Party. But now for the past few years Canada has been dealing with massive inflation, discontentment, rising rents. Even I have seen some videos, like there was a lot of praise earlier of Indians going and studying in Canada. So there have been documentaries, what I have seen on YouTube, that some Indians are they are not able to afford the cost of living, high cost of living. Okay, and the unpopularity. Because like I said, Khalistani separatists, they have been given asylum refuge in Canada, but the six overall they contribute 2%. They form 2% of the entire population of Canada, and not all the 2% are Khalistani supporters. Others, majority of them are living their lives peacefully. They are contributing to the economy. They are conducting their affairs. They are not causing any harm. But now, why is then Trudeau appealing? Because again, first of all, some facts. These are just facts which we have to note. There is an NDP, New Democratic Party. So what is happening these now is that over the years, the migration of Sikhs to Canada started in the late 19th century. Okay, and a major wave of migration occurred in the 1980s owing to the crackdown of Indian governments on the Khalistani separatists. Okay, so these were two. And some stats in 2001, Sikhs formed 0.9% of the total Canadian population. In 2021, they formed 2% of the total Canadian population. So it is not much. But still, now what important comes is the map. Why we need to understand, like I said, that why he's pandering to the Sikh sentiments. Now, if we look at the map of Canada, so some important areas, if we see, fine. So this yellow line, this shows the border of Canada. I'm just going to brief. This is Alaska. This is a part of US. So this and the various provinces. Two provinces where the Sikhs are in majority. They are British Columbia with its capital at this is British Columbia with its capital at Vancouver. Okay, this is Vancouver and Ontario. Ontario with its capital at Toronto. For those who are unaware, Toronto is not the capital of Canada. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Fine. So, in these areas, Ontario and British Columbia, particularly in these regions, Vancouver and Toronto, the six are in major population, majority population. And now, what is happening? Moreover, the party's political representation of Sikhs has also increased drastically. So, again, some facts. In 1993, Gurbaksh Malhi was the first Sikh to become an MP or parliamentarian in the Canadian House of Commons. Fine. In 2017, this new Democratic Party was formed, and its leader is Jagmeet Singh, and he has been accused of pandering or supporting the Khalistani separatist sentiments. Fine. Then, as of 2021, there are 18 Sikh parliamentarians, MPs. So obviously their community, they also want. Now, when Jagmeet Singh, when the Khalistani supporters like Jagmeet Singh, they have secured some seats, significant proportion of seats. Right now, again, what is happening is that in case of Trudeau's government, it now had a coalition between his party and NDP, in which he was running the government. Now, what has happened? NDP, Jagmeet Singh's party, has withdrawn its support from Trudeau, from Trudeau's party. So now they have become a minority government with only 154 representatives representing the government out of a total seats of 338. So in there also, similar to India, there is a first past the post system. So obviously they are way below the majority mark. So in late November, December, they are going to conduct a vote of confidence like in India. Fine, to make updates about budget and other perspectives. So he is bound to lose that motion. So this is, and because some communities, although the Sikh community overall is very minute, minuscule, but in some areas, high concentration areas, and those constituencies have become important from the point of view of elections. So Trudeau has now, because his measures, his policies have not attract has have not gained any traction. So the only last throw of dice which he thinks will make him further eligible for the third tenure of prime ministership. He thinks that if he panders, if he gains the Sikh confidence, no matter what, harming diplomatic relations or harboring terrorists, he will gain. But that is not supposed to be, obviously. Now, finally, so this is we have discussed the agenda. What exactly is Khalistan? Why the demand was there? The history, the geography. That is very important. That how Canadians, the influence, political influence of Canadian of Sikh in Canada have improved. So this is now the important point. The relations, the implications that these are bound to have. We have already talked in the news about superficially, okay, this is bound to, but how? Now some stats are important. We know that a lot of overseas Indians, migrants, they are living abroad. A lot of students go abroad. So according to the Ministry of External Affairs, every seventh student studying abroad is in Canada. Fine. Then around 5.26% of all overseas migrants, they belong to Canada. Fine. Then in 2023, India was named as the largest receiver of remittances, the money which the foreign nationals they sent to their home country. So that was to the tune of $125 billion, and Canada was among the top 10 sources of these remittances. Okay. Then what else can be affected? Trade. So, but luckily, trade has not been significantly affected. Why? Because trade between India and Canada has been restricted to the private sector. But still, the trade agreements, the trade agreements are bound to be affected. The remittances are bound to be affected. Okay. Implications on the diaspora. Now, you might have heard in the news that since this escalation has started, a lot of concern has arisen among the population, especially which go to the people who go to study or for migration to Canada, people from Punjab and Haryana. So that is also that uncertainty is prevailing there. Okay, so this is about the economic and trade implications of this face off, or this both the countries being at odds with one another. Now, finally, one more important thing which this is bound to affect is the geopolitical narrative, because every country, we are not just talking about two countries. India and Canada, both countries are part of G20. Okay. G20 consists of countries part of G7 also. G7 countries, we have US, UK, France, Germany, Japan, Italy, and Canada. So these countries are also part of G20, and India is a very last G20 summit took place in New Delhi. So if India is some evidence is found about India's involvement, or India still it does not resolve these issues between Canada, so India's relation with these countries will also be adversely affected. Then you might have heard of this the Five Eyes Alliance, which are the which is the alliance of five countries which share information. So these countries consist of Canada, UK, US, Australia, and New Zealand. Common countries you can see. Okay. Then India is also part of Quad, which includes India, Japan, US, Australia. So you can see these common forums. So if India Canadian relations will are affected in any manner, so the relations India will also have to answer to the other countries and manage its relationships. So it's walking on a tightrope. Now, finally, as a conclusion, how can India manage? Of course, diplomacy has to be managed. So obviously, talks are there to sort out the diaspora issue, sort out the Khalistan issue. Moreover, again, one common element, the countering the rise of China. So, in various regions like rising against China or countering the massive rise of China, or in case of climate change, in development infrastructure. So they have common interest, India and Canada, so they can work out their differences. Some just additional facts you might have heard. a few years back. India has managed such problems when it was in a soup. Or so you might have heard of this lady Devyani Khobragade, okay, an Indian diplomat. This issue of about this person, I'm not going to deal this in detail. With US, we had, then there was an issue with the Italian Marines who shot our fishermen. Then there was an issue of the child services issue with Norway. Then there was also an issue with the Purulia arms drop with Denmark. But qualitatively, this is different from all these disputes because it not only involves one particular incident of malpractice or corruption or any one individual, it includes a much larger, it has global dimensions. So India has to tread the uncharted territory responsibly and with dexterity so that it manages, and finally we can go along on our merry way, start conducting business as it was. So with that, I hope you gained a lot of information from this. So till we meet again next time, Jai Hind.